Hi, John.
Hey, David.
Hey, John.
How's it going, man?
That's good, good. If I remember, you had a question uh, about some aspect of society that you were.
Yeah, I just, I'm not sure how much you plug into all the stuff going on right now and everything, but it just feels like there's a big shift in consciousness going on, and at first it was really, really scary to me, but now it's kind of more like I'm in more of the acceptance type of stage.
Okay, well, what
But,
you? I can give you some recommendations already.
okay. But what is it that you were going to ask me?
I'll ask you about that later if I remember.
Okay.
But in this case, you need to open up your perceptions. You need to take a broader view so that you see the entire creation, so that you can observe all aspects of it. And so as you take a step back and you disengage from a personal interaction, you take a far view of it, which frees up the electronic and magnetic entanglements that you lock your consciousness in with. So
Yeah.
So you take your step back and you look at the whole thing.
Okay.
And then you're able to predict what's going to happen. But in the meantime, a few things to keep in mind is that everyone that you interact with here lives in their own reality of their own creation. And that reality is real to them. And they believe that their experience of that reality is the true experience of what life is.
Right.
And that they don't have a limited point of view of it. They know as much as they need to know, or they certainly know that they know more about it than you do. So their determination on what reality is, and that their particular point of view is the one that should be acknowledged as being right. That's where we fuck ourselves up here, when we get involved in that I'm right and you're wrong, and I'm good and you're evil, and all of that. So there's a mess of mixed up consciousness here, and that's okay so long as it's not you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just real concerned about, the authoritarian type of changes that are going to be coming, with all of this stuff that's going on right now.
Okay, so let's take a look at that. Because let's address something and then resolve it, at least for ourselves. Okay, because we're not here to have a philosophical discussion, even though those are interesting. When we talk, our intention is to destroy something or create it, or both. Because you have to destroy what's wrong in your present, in your moment, in order for that moment to be able to transcend to a better one. In other words, if you demand that your reality, that your point of view, is the sum total of everything that is, then you're screwed, because you'll never know anything else. I'm going to take a drink.
Okay.
So you have to come back to yourself. And by that coming back to yourself is the self-realization. And the self-realization is making real in the body your free-flowing state of expression, and your open and aware and knowing consciousness of self. So self-realization is bringing your mastery into the body.
Okay. Which means my mastery being?
Your mastery is that which moves you. However oddly in your expression here. That consciousness that moves through eternity and then occasionally identifies itself as being you. Okay, so you have to allow this temporal you, this temporary you, the one with the point of view that's worried about the condition of humanity and their consciousness and the level of the darkness of their interactions with each other. You know, you gotta let that you go, because that you doesn't know how to resolve it or fix it or transcend it or end it. You know, so you don't want to own that experience of you other than temporarily. You know, that's something that you want to move through easily and quickly and finally, and know that it was simply a limited thought that you moved through. And then you were no longer limited by it, and it was no longer real for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So just let it pass and accept.
Yeah, just accept. You have to accept yourself so completely as the way that you are now, just simply as it being the most accurate expression of life as you. You know, nobody can do life as you better than you are right now.
Right.
So accept that as a completion, not as a problem.
Okay.
Accept that as a job that you successfully accomplished already. It's done.
Okay.
There's nothing else that you need to make you more real as what you are in this moment.
Okay.
So what that does is that gives you a completion point. That gives you a target. That gives you a goal that's been accomplished. And then you can quit worrying about the fight because you won. You know, you accomplished. You ascended to the level that you were seeking.
Okay.
So let that be real for you, that you did actually just self-realize and ascend to the level that where you're free to express yourself without any self-limitations.
So what does that look like? So because I've been talking to other people too. You know, I plugged into this group, Emerald Founders Teaching. I don't know if you're familiar with that at all. And what'd you say?
No, I'm not. But tell me a little bit about it, and then we'll resolve the.
It just talks about how humanity was, you know, how we're all here and kind of in a state of consciousness.
Okay, I get it. So if you allow me to express in such a way that it might be something that helps us both, you know, move more freely, you know. So that's what we're doing. You're identifying a problem, and then I'm moving into the energy of what the resolution of that would be.
Yeah, and you know, a friend of mine, another guy I talked to, similar to you, he said, you know, we are all experiencing our own reality. So, for example, if you focus on that and you dwell on it, then that will be your reality. But if you just observe, like he said, I just observe. So I'm not putting any judgment on anything. I'm not saying this is bad or good. I'm just watching it unfold and staying neutral and intending on good. And I'm going to move into the reality that none of this is there anymore. Or,
Yes.
Oh,
yes. So it goes like this. What happens is the beauty of that chosen reality that you choose for yourself is such a nice thing for you that other people who are paying attention to you suddenly realize that there's something that you found and done that is beyond anything they ever dreamed of. So now at that point, now you have those type of issues as he was just describing. Now you've got all these people in your network that have their own point of view on reality and consider themselves to have the problems that they believe are real to them, and somehow, you know, they don't know anything, yet they're the expert on everything. And so you dive into those connections, accept each one of their realities, and then what's left for you for being able to maintain any sort of free-flowing truth of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the issue, is how do we maintain our individual consciousness at a high level when we're interacting with people who are choosing to be about as unconscious as they could possibly be.
Yeah, okay.
So
that feels good to me right now. That feels good.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're not diving so deep into that reality that it becomes an issue for us. We don't get that close to somebody who's that dense. We maintain the separation, you know. We keep to ourselves as much as we need to in order to maintain our sanity.
Right.
You know, we don't have to engage.
And experience my own reality and not worry about any other.
We don't have to engage with the insanity of others. It's a choice where you should be cautious. You know, you should be open and aware and realize what each one of those connections are that you have. And then find the one that wants to dance with you at a high level of consciousness and spend your time with that.
Okay.
And let the others go. All the reasons.
Does that literally, so my question then is to you, does that literally change the outcome of those outside forces, or do those outside forces just not affect me because of my own reality? Like, in other words, do I live a different reality?
Your reality.
I go down a new path.
Here's what happens. You wake up in the reality that you're in, but you wake up competently so that as soon as you're here, you're going, oh, okay, I'm here, and I just came into this level of consciousness that was really great, but obviously wasn't as great before just now. So now I'm going to observe the connections that this body and this identity have in life, and I'm going to find a way to make this life one that's fun to be, and that is successful, and that is freely expressed. And so what we're doing is we're accepting who and what we are. We're observing exactly what that is, and what the accepted limitations of the mind and the body are. And then we're comparing them against whatever actual, you know, beautiful possibilities still exist for you in this life with this body.
Okay.
So that takes getting quiet, you know, because there isn't anything that you actually need to do.
Right. Just be.
Yeah, so just sit and realize that you don't even have to think about anything, so you don't. Then you just experience how things get subtler and subtler and smoother and quieter and quieter and freer, and the pain just fades away. And the unconsciousness, you know, is like the mist dissolving in the sun.
Okay.
So we're taking who and what we are, and we're merging it with something transcendent, so that there's a transformational experience.
Okay.
For the body. So the body is what it is. We're not trying to change it. It's not our job.
Right.
The divine is. We're not trying to become it. It just is. And
Right.
we're not quite sure of our relationship to it right now, but we know that the body is what it is, and the divine is what it is, and that there's a merger coming on right now, and whether we ask for it or we're helping with it or we're causing it, we don't know. But all we know is that now that we're getting quiet, we can feel that that's what's actually going on here for us.
Right.
A transcendent transformation of self.
Right.
And all we have to do is notice it, and
Mm-hmm.
open more as a result.
Okay.
So just
Okay.
keep, you don't have to figure it out, you don't have to do anything. All you have to do is notice that it's real and that it's true, and that as you open to it and experience it, consciousness and life and everything just gets, in a quantum way almost, or a miraculous way, or just a, oh my God, does this moment really make me happy? So
Yeah.
you let go of what you are so that you can move into that uh, most beautiful expression of self that's left as an open
Mm-hmm.
choice for you.
Okay.
So make the choice and say, yeah, the best that I can be based upon who and what I am right now. I got a new chance. I didn't lose my way. I didn't lose forever. I didn't cause myself to be in a situation where I could never win what I came here to win. No, it's not too late. Because
Okay.
you're awake enough to know that it's your choice to open up and transcend here, that it's all up to you,
Mm-hmm.
and that there's no story and there's no group and there's no teacher that can give it to you. It's something that you take a look at and you go, is that my choice for self?
Right.
And as you open to consider whether it is or not, the beauty of that free self-expression is so irresistible that regardless of how much you were for it before you had the first thought or made the first motion toward it, the more that you look and the more that you open and the more that you feel,
Mm-hmm.
the more you have to feel what it is to be divinely free.
Okay.
And that's to surrender everything that's less than that and let it go.
Yeah, that's a huge thing to be able to do.
Yeah, it's impossible for everyone, but do it anyway. Yeah, you know what? You're not here to bullshit yourself about anything anymore. You're not here to move yourself through life in a confused manner and pretend that that's the best version of you that you can be.
Mm-hmm.
No, you accomplished. You came back. You made things move and happen, and you realized what it took to have the freedom of time and movement
Mm-hmm.
that you could have here reasonably for the rest of your life. So you did that. So good. And now you're saying, okay, what else is there?
Mm-hmm.
And what there is the opening into, the ape,
Yeah.
the ape becoming the embodiment of God.
Okay. So I think it might be good if maybe I could just check in with you periodically so that I can get further, better and better into that flow.
Yeah. So we're doing it right now. So how much more time do you have? Are we done? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, what?
Right now, I mean, probably like 5 more minutes.
Okay. So the part of you that said, for now, 5 more minutes. Okay, let's put a completion on that self-identification as you as being that point of view, that man, that identity, that self. Okay, yeah. So you can see yourself as being that, and so therefore it's a role. It's a pretense. It's not the truth of you. It's just who you feel like right now. That's all.
Right.
So let it go. Let who you feel like, what it's like to feel yourself as the you that you've defined yourself to be. Let that go.
Okay.
Don't determine beforehand what you feel like,
Right.
because what you feel like should be infinitely variable in each moment.
Right. I'm free flowing.
That's right. A miraculous expression.
And that's
There,
the
see,
result.
that makes you smile, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be a miraculous expression. Now, you don't have to tell anybody that.
Right.
All you got to do is say, oh my God, is he right? And when you say, is he right? Guess what? You open up enough to take in enough information to know whether I am or not. Now, what most people do is they instantly shut down and go unconscious because it's too much of an overwhelm. So, just notice, how when you have an invitation to self-realize and to awaken and to interact at a level of consciousness that a holy man would call transcendent, that a mystic would call cosmic or universal, that an atheist would say, oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what you let yourself become. The transformation is what self-realization is. From this to your potential, that journey's transformation, and the fuel of that fire of transformation is the thoughts and ideas and beliefs and lies that comprise who you are in this moment. So you set yourself on fire. And let that be the fuel of transformation, the transformational fire that moves you from one element to another.
Yeah. I get it.
The shift, the letting go of what was behind, so you can open and become that potential free expression of you. So just let your heart open and embrace that. Feel what it's like if you were feeling truly free in your heart right now. Feel free in your heart right now. And let that heal you.
Yeah.
So that's your painting. Feel free in your heart right now and let that free you and heal you.
Hold on a minute. Feels good. Feels like I can do anything.
You can do anything, and you should call me once in a while, because I'm doing these guided meditations like this. I'd like to do them every night. I've been doing them about once a week, and I'd like to do them every night. So you're welcome to call me.
Is there a good night for you that I can call? Like
any night that I don't have an appointment, I'll say yes.
Okay. Maybe I can test you ahead of time.
Yeah, of course.
And and let me just explain to you kind of where my mind and how I got into this trap, like just so that you can understand how I got here. Collie, you know how I met Collie, which was in town. And all of that happened, and I was down to zero after I got out, and then I had to figure out how to reinvent myself because I was a mortgage broker.
I remember.
And I figured it out. I found online businesses, learned how to do Amazon, and built up a company, built up a brand, and it went gangbusters, and I was wildly successful financially. And I did all of that, using affirmations, to build myself up, so that I expected a better reality financially. And it all happened, and now I sold my company, and so now I felt like I was in my own reality, and I was like, okay, I did it, I made it, and I'm able to give my family a nice life. I'm not going to hold any more debt. I'm going to do it right this time. Everything's going to be good, and now we're going to be ready to travel the world, and we're going to have all this fun, and now we're in a position to do that, and now I have all of the freedom I want in the world. So I'm in this flow, and everything's great, and then this whole COVID thing happens, and it really just sucked the whole air out of my sails, because I felt like the whole world was closing in now. You know, there's not going to be that freedom anymore to travel. Everything's going to be, you know, they're going to try to tip us. They're going to try to vaccinate us.
Okay, you remember what I told you at the beginning? The first thing that you have to do is accept who you are, and the only way you can do that is to kind of get by yourself and to get still and to get quiet and just pay attention to what it feels like to be you. Kind of sounds like COVID, doesn't it? Everybody's self-isolating.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been really, really good for that. You know, there's this.
It has.
There's
It has been good in certain ways, you know.
And
The
look, there's
appreciation level
you never know. Just because something's destroyed doesn't mean it's bad, because if the movement is into further expression of consciousness, free flow consciousness and beauty and love, then what's going to come from that destruction is another quantum step in potential expressed. You know, it's really good. You know, when you make that move to where you know that you're free expression, and then you keep finding new ways to keep choosing better and instantly realizing it. So you've got the freedom of time and you know, that financial freedom to be where you want to be without worry.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, God bless you. I wish I was in that situation, but I think I'm going to be able to accomplish that myself soon. So,
You've done it many times over.
because I know it's time. You know, it's time for me to be completely free also. Because in that now that we're not beholden to reality in terms of our daily bread, then we can look at reality and say, why are we opposed to it? You know, we can look at it clearly and say, and then take a step back and look at all the other realities also, and then say, okay, I'm looking at this with kind of a universal understanding now instead of an individuated one. And then in that mode, you can let everything be exactly as it is, because you see that everything is transforming, everything is transcending, everything is moving from what it is into what it can be. And sometimes that destruction looks bad, and sometimes it looks good. But in both cases, it just is. It's just happened. And now we have to look on what the best possible next expression is. Okay, so out of the shattered reality of what you were before, how much can you open and allow all that to dissolve away and be healed and transcend, so that you're completely spiritually free to host a level of consciousness within your body where, you know, you're not seeking anymore, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where you're moving to, and congratulations, and you're free to call me whenever you want to.
Yeah. It just doesn't. I haven't realized the translation yet of it, so that's what I need to work towards.
No, you just need to keep experiencing it until you go, oh yeah, that's what I actually want. You know, you have to move through all the fear and the limitations and the self-judgments on why it can't happen for you, and why it can't be real for you, and why you can't just experience it right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
so we have to confront all of those things that make us feel like we're not divine.
Right.
And then we have to say, well, that's not us. That's not me. That's something else.
Yeah.
And whatever it is, it's no longer necessary. It's not needed. It's not wanted. It doesn't have an unfulfilled purpose. It was here, and now it's not. And we were the way that we were, and we're the way that we are, and now we're something more
Right.
also, and something more, and something more, and something more, until this reality
That everlasting translation is
Yes.
what I really want to get.
yes, so
Free
you,
flow translation.
yes, because you keep getting stuck here. So just open and more, open and more, more and more and more. Without trying to figure out how you do it, you just do it. You just say, okay, more. Oh yeah, great, nice, more. Wow, okay, more. Yeah, okay, good, good. Now more. And so whatever it is that you're dealing with in yourself, whatever emotion it is, whatever level of consciousness it is, you connect with it till you understand it. When you understand it, you have no more problems with it. And since it's no longer a problem,
Is that kind of like feeling into it? You feel into it. You close your eyes, and whatever that emotion is at that moment, that fear or whatever it is, you just dive into it.
yeah, you dive into it and you experience all of it in 1 second. Oh, what is that? Oh, okay, that's that. I get it. Then you sit with it until it resolves itself, until it smooths out, and until it no longer is opposing itself. No longer opposing you.
That sounds amazing.
And so it doesn't take very long. So let's just do it in the 30 seconds that we have. Everything's resolved. Don't disagree with that. Just let it happen.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter what's going on the outside. It doesn't matter what forces are doing whatever they're doing. You're in your own expression of consciousness and reality.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what's going on. Yeah, that feels good.
Yeah. Yeah. So you just woke up there. So notice that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Notice how your crown's open and the light's not shining into it, light's shining out of it.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah, it feels good.
Okay, so
Feels good.
yeah, good for you. Good for you. You're here to be a light, and now you are. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's what I want.